Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where today we want to do a little side questing here in Kozama'Uka. We begin with Hanuhanu, and this quest is a picture, but usually means it's a quest chain. Oh, Kali, Desiree. Of course I know your name. Who isn't familiar with Luke Lamart's companions? Not to mention your friends can't seem to go a moment without mentioning you. I'm Hanuhanu and I have the honor of being the wind's chosen. It's my feathers which adorn the festive float. I feel wind has guided you to me for a reason. As a visitor to our village, who has fast become an honored friend, I would offer you a chance to strengthen our bonds. How do we do that? Perhaps you're familiar with the Landsguard? It is customary among winds chosen to save their molded feathers and present them to these brave protectors as gifts every 3 years. At this very moment, one of their number is making their way to Okanu to receive our offering, but there's much more to it than just a simple delivery, and I think you'd be interested in taking part. It would deepen your understanding of our ways, and perhaps you and this member of the Landsguard will become fast friends. I would start with a small task if you're willing. Nahanshe is the name of our guest, and he was due to arrive some time ago. I fear he may be lost. Could you search the road for him? I'll stand behind in case he arrives here after all. You're looking for me. You're not a Hanuhanu unless you're molding something awful. Ah, so that's the way of it. Well, now that you found me, I suppose I better get on with it. Sorry for my lack of enthusiasm. I joined the Landsguard hoping I could bust some skulls, slaughter some beasts, you know? Use these muscles of mine. But for my first assignment, I'm lugging crates of supplies around. It's not exactly what I had in mind. I suppose complaining would get this done any faster. Let's go meet with Hanuhanu then. I thought I was coming here to pick up some feathers. My superiors didn't say anything about helping someone. You found him. Now we can begin. Before the gift of feathers is to be bestowed, there are proper steps that must be taken. Firstly, I bid the warmth of welcome to Nahanshe. As Wind's Chosen, it is my solemn duty to show you what sights our humble village has to offer. As one of the Landsguard, it behooves you to become familiar with all corners of the continent, yes? Then come with me to the center of Okanu, where you can behold the entire village at once. What a load of... Perhaps you've seen the sight, perhaps not. Either way, feast your eyes upon Okanu. Take it all in, this is Okanu. As you can see, our homes are made from wood and reeds, both of which the forest blesses us with in abundance. But nature's blessings are to be treated with care, for dry reeds can easily catch flame, and if they do, we risk setting our entire village alight. Building waterways through Okanu is a way to protect us from such incidents, but aquatic beasts can travel them as well, and when these beasts become too great in number, we beseech the Landsguard to cull them. Do you know, I always thought hunting duty was just a way to keep us sharp. While I'm here, I make sure nothing troubles your home. All of Okanu would thank you. Enough of the reason you came. The feathers of the Wind's Chosen. They used to adorn the equipment worn by the Landsguard. The design evokes the image of Kishai, the great bird revered by all Hanuhanu. The feathers give it a touch of authenticity that make the soldiers appear all the fiercer. Every soldier's outfit is designed according to their profession, and each feather must undergo an elaborate process of dyeing and oiling to meet the Landsguard's varied needs. So without further ado, let us begin. I first asked you to come meet me at the gate to the southeast. Fine, I should warn you, I'm not known for my delicate hands. That went about as well as expected. Could you stay behind for a moment, Desiree? I would like to hear your opinion of Nahanshe. He really doesn't want to be here. I have the same impression. Truth be told, his attitude is the same as every Landsguard troop who comes to receive this gift, and we're meant to fix it. Oh. Consider this a rite of passage of sorts. The Landsguard sent us troops whose rough edges want for polish, and the tasks we set before them serve as a whetstone. Over the course of our work, they gain a great insight into the history and meaning behind this exchange of gifts. Soldiers with a tangible bond to their charge will protect it all the more staunchly. In recent days, however, even our treasure trove of knowledge hasn't been enough to rouse the spirits of some. But working alongside someone as capable as you, Nahanshe may find the extra motivation he needs. Now then, let us proceed to the southeastern gate. And while this goes without saying, keep this little conversation between us a secret. The feathers we send the Landsguard out for decorative purposes, and since they can lay untouched for quite some time, for use on the float. What did I do to deserve this? Now I know why my superiors were snickering behind my back as I departed. Hanuhanu might think this bird god is worth all this trouble, but I just want to get it over with. One feather at a time. Now that everyone is here, it's time to begin. Together we shall make these feathers so striking that even Kishai would be envious. The first items we require are dyes and oils. The former is used to match the feathers with various uniforms worn by the troops. The latter serves a different purpose. As you can see by observing yours truly, Hanuhanu boasts feathers full and colorful. This is thanks to the oils our bodies secrete, which keep our coats from becoming drab and brittle. But the feathers we give to the Landsguard were molted long ago and have since lost their natural luster, so we must apply oil to make them as vibrant as those of a Hanu in their prime. The task of gathering said oils and dyes falls to Desiree. Go to Okbekbe, where a crate has already been prepared. In the meantime, Nahanshe here will get the feathers. Interesting, of course we maintain our equipment regularly and oiling with feathers is part of it. But I never considered how the Hanuhanu might keep theirs pristine. We trade for the oils and dyes with Pelupelu merchants who pass through Okbekra, so they're generally stored there for the sake of convenience. You hear about the supplies? Good, good. Everything is in the crate over there. It's heavy, so be careful not to drop it on those dainty toes of yours. Well, still, you might break a bottle of dye. The Landsguard artisan who designed the uniform was very particular about their coloring, so not a single one can go to waste. There's nothing a soldier loves more than their equipment, so every detail has to be just right. Treat it as carefully as you can back to Hanuhanu. Carrying tasks. Why, are these really feathers were so heavy? How many are in the hundreds, thousands, more? You both did excellent work today. Nahanshe, it appears you might need some rest after your ordeal, huh? How many feathers did you pack into that crate? Are you sure you didn't send me to get the dyes and oils? Piglet, I didn't, Nahanshe, for Desiree's crate is much heavier. She also carried it from a much greater distance. Really now, and here I thought I was the stronger. Damn bastard doing my first assignment. But it won't happen again. I've had enough rest, so let's get on with it. Good. If you insist, Nahanshe, let us proceed to the heart of the matter. First we must dye each feather one by one. But be careful, for each color is needed in different quantities. Equipment used to attack is adorned with black feathers, while equipment used for defense is adorned with feathers in their original green. For those, you must carefully... Hold on just a damn minute. We're dyeing all of these, one by one? I'll be an old man by then. Best to be a better way. Say, throw a few dozen of them in a big bowl of dye? But what will make the coloring uneven, Nahanshe? As I was saying, we must carefully apply oil to bring out their original color, or they'll quickly become brittle. I see. This will be a test of patience, but for the three of us it shall be over before the moon turns. Probably. Why not, for I'm here to teach you how best to see the job done. I suppose I'm thankful for that. Truth be told, I never knew so much hard work went into our uniforms. For our brothers and sisters in the Landsguard, no effort is too great. The Hanuhanu are honored that you wear our feathers. You're surprised? As the wind shows, and seeing my feathers become a symbol of a great XIV fills me with joy unequaled in this world. And to have them adorn the Landsguard's armor makes my joy all the sweeter. Few in the world can claim such an honor, so there can be no mistake. There's really more to this than I thought. I would like to apologize for how I've been acting. I see now that things are done a certain way for a reason. So while I may grow old and grey in my doing, I see that every feather is dyed and oiled properly. At least we're in this together, huh, Desiree? Your work was swift and capable, Desiree. The hardest part is behind us now. I reckon I'll be cleaning dye from under my nails for some days yet, but I won't complain about honest work. Now I have to think about how to get these back to Tuliolal. Don't get ahead of yourself, young Nahanshe. Yes, the hard part is behind us, but there is more I would ask of you. As I said before, XIV is revered by the Hanuhanu, and we must pay due respect for use of its likeness. As such, there are time-honored rituals that must be followed before we give this offering to the Landsguard. Time-honored, huh? As long as it isn't time-consuming. The Wind's Blessing. Our next step is simple. We must bring the feathers before the likeness of Kozama'Uka, and have a priestess beseech the great bird to bestow the Wind's Blessing upon them. More lugging that crate around then. I can do it, but if we're going any further than last time, I might need a couple of breaks. Do not worry, Nahanshe, I will carry the feathers. I have something different in mind for the both of you. A friend of mine awaits you on the road to Kozama'Uka. Speak with him and do exactly as he instructs. I don't think Nahanshe was complaining, do you? Either way, his attitude is much improved, but his lessons aren't over yet. My friends are ready to further his education. Let's see where this leads. If he's carrying the crate, what are we meant to be doing? I hope something even heavier isn't in our future. Welcome, welcome. I understand you seek the blessing of a wind. The priestess requires a special type of bark to complete the ceremony, and your job is to gather it. But you must tread carefully for the shores where the trees are found teem with hungry beasts. I suggest clearing the area first so one doesn't sneak up on you. I don't mind a bit of hunting, but these arms aren't meant for... Apologies. I suppose complaining is a habit I should aim to break. This is all part of the process of making our equipment, isn't it? There's a reason we need this bark, so get the bark we shall. I search the south side this way, you take the north. Without the right bark, Kishai will not bestow the wound's blessing, but hungry beasts roam the shores, clear the area. And now the bark. And back. Why do I get a feeling a story is coming? Well done, you two. You brought exactly what I asked, but I suppose you're still curious as to why the bark had to be from those specific trees. The answer lies within the legend of Kishai. You see, our ancestors hailed from a different land, and are guided here by the great bird. But upon their arrival, they found perilous woodlands overrun by hungry fiends. Many Hanu were lost to the gluttonous appetite of the wilds, and they had nearly succumbed to despair. But then, Kishai let out a mighty screech. It echoed through the land, setting the trees aglow. Taking this as divine guidance, our beleaguered ancestors took bark from the trunks and burnt it. The smoke wafted through the air, and the beasts found it so repugnant they were forced to flee, one and all. Since that day, warriors would burn incense before battle, in the hopes it would ward them from harm. Must we bless the Landsguards feathered in the same way, that they too might bask in Kishai's protection. Now, take the bark to Kozama'Uka, and on the way, I would be glad if you offered your sincere prayers to the great bird. Alright. I'm sure you're well acquainted with the paths by now, but just in case, Kozama'Uka can be reached by traveling northeast. Go there and offer your prayers. We're finally here. Mind giving me a bark? I'll deliver it to the Hanu priestess. Thank you, Desiree. Once I'm finished, let's offer our prayers. Wouldn't want to disappoint our hosts after all. Hanuhanu take their traditions seriously, don't they? I knew they wished for good harvests and such, but never imagined we Landsguard were in their thoughts all this time. This has been an eye-opening experience, to be sure, but I can't help but wonder why we're so important to them. Why allow us to use their revered god in the design of our equipment? Aren't you a Landsguard yourself, and you ask yourself such questions? You're Desiree, aren't you? I'm Turali. I know we have you to thank for Ihana's success, but even so, I must ask you to stand aside. Why? You are Nahanshe, of whom I've heard much. I'm surprised you have the gall to step foot into such a sacred place. While the elders may sing the praises of a Landsguard, their minds have been warped by too many moltings. The new generation is sick of their ceaseless chirping. You have to say your lines. Remember how we practiced? Oh, yes, I understand. We heard you complain when you took the feathers. We saw the disdain in your eyes. Someone with such disrespect for our history doesn't deserve to bask in Kishai's grace. What? But I... You'll learn in time. That may be so, Desiree. But you've had enough chances. We refuse to suffer this Landsguard to be in Hanuhanu. Listen well and remember, the sacred likeness of Kishai was once reduced to shredded reeds. By whom you ask? Why, none other than Gulul Jaja, Dawn Servant and founder of Landsguard. No, but Dawn Servant would never. This misdeed will never be forgiven. If you have any pride in your position, you should be ashamed at your ignorance and lack of respect. How will you answer for that? Yes, you must answer, and answer well, or we will be very angry with you. I had no idea about this history of conflict. Why didn't Hanuhanu say anything? Why am I taking the blame for the past? In any case, we can't stay here. I have to think about this. Nahanshe's answer. I don't see why Turali would lie, but how have I never heard of the Dawn Servant's affront to the Hanuhanu? Why would Hanuhanu act so proud to have his feathers adorn our equipment? I'm not good with numbers, but even I can tell something doesn't add up here. I thought something was off too. I think it wasn't just me. Either way, I'd like to leave here on Hanu's good side. Well, our best bet is probably to return to Hanuhanu. If anyone can tell us the truth about what happened with the Dawn Servant, it would be Hanuhanu. It would be Hanuhanu. I don't see him. But the crate's not here either. He might have left to Kozama'Uka already. Wouldn't you have seen him on the road if he had, though? The force is vast, I suppose. Anyway, maybe one of the younger Hanuhanu around here can tell us if Zulihali's scorn is shared? Let's ask around this way. A likeness of Kashai. My father actually worked to repair it. He told me that the Dawn Servant's slaughter of a beast was swift and brutal, but left many of our shrines and homes damaged in its wake. But what choice did he have? The fiends were at our doors. My father and his friends agreed that it was better to be alive, at least that way they could rebuild. So he fought to protect them. Of course, everyone knows the story of the Dawn Servant's visit, but it might be more accurate to call it a rescue. For at the time, our home was beset by beasts and fiends, and Gulu Jaja heard this terrible news. He personally came to drive out every last one. Zulihali has said all that. Well, I do remember hearing that when our ancestors beheld the ruined figure. Some of them viewed it as a terrible insult, even though they were saved. Could that grudge have been inherited by their children and grandchildren? I can't speak of such matters, but perhaps Hanuhanu can. He is wise in our ways and makes an effort to befriend everyone he can. What's heard this way? From what I heard, the Dawn Servant really did destroy that sacred figure. Yes, they did it to save the people. I see. I can't say I'm surprised that some Hanuhanu would bear a grudge. So Zulihali was telling the truth. Something still doesn't sit right with me though. The Dawn Servant wouldn't simply go on a rampage to leave the Hanu to clean things up. He'd have more compassion than that. Nahanshe, Desiree, you won't believe what happened. I was surrounded by Zulihali and her cronies, but on my way to the shrine, they stole the crate of feathers from out of my claws, saying no Landsguard would have had until Nahanshe gave his answer. I assume you know what we're talking about? They said if you ignore their demand, they'll burn every last feather. What? Have they gone mad? Gods be good, I'm sorry, but can you go and store them for a while? There's something I must look into first. I know what you're thinking, Desiree. Isn't this going a little too far? I would answer that the results should speak for themselves. Now, we simply wait and see what Nahanshe brings up. Zulihali and the others are waiting to the south of the shrine. Let us go there and stall them as Nahanshe requested. Nahanshe should be here soon. We were lucky to have you to spur him into action, Desiree. But our methods may appear rather blunt to you. Wait until Nahanshe speaks before you judge us. Wait quietly and hear his answer. I don't know why you make us wait so long, Nahanshe, but I hope whatever you found was worth it. I spoke with the eldest Hanu of our village. He told me the story of a Dawn Servant's vision and the destruction of a Kishai's likeness. The whole story. It seems he, particularly the head of reason, was filled with anguish at the sight and offered his deepest apologies. To make amends, he devised a way to assemble an even more robust figure from the remains of a previous one. His work was done overnight, and the head of resolve called upon the whole village to celebrate their newfound peace. For the first time in a long while, Ihana commenced, and the Dawn Servant was chosen to ride the sacred float. After festivities, the Dawn Servant said that when he finally established a united nation in Turali, he wanted a motive representing Kishai to be among those used in his soldiers' uniforms. He declared that different tribes can forge friendships so long as they open their hearts to one another. But his nation would be one where peoples of all tribes could live in harmony. His soldiers would become a symbol of that promise. So you can learn for yourself after all. But you should have come here with that knowledge already seared into your memory. I know. I have no excuse for my ignorance, and the petulance born from it. This experience has taught me so many things. And now, with full knowledge of his history, I am filled with much greater sense of purpose than before. I feel more keenly than ever that my duty as a Landsguard is to serve every corner of Turali. But to fulfill that duty, we must have our equipment, so please, I beg of you, entrust the feathers to me in good faith. You'll be a fine soldier, don't you agree, Hanuhanu? What? Yes, indeed. That was quite a moving display. My feathers were standing up straight. Thank you for looking after Nahanshe during his growth, Desiree. You're welcome. My growth? What are you talking about? Why, this was all a performance. A performance to guide you along the path to become a worthy Landsguard. Your rite of passage is complete. So my superiors weren't pulling one over on me. They were worried about me. I didn't realize my conduct was so concerning. Tell them what you told us, and their concerns will vanish. You'll be welcomed back with open arms. But before you do that, aren't there more places to visit? More materials to collect? We Hanu are the only people who love teaching lessons. Please, I don't want to think about that now. I was worried sick enough imagining what would happen if I couldn't get the feathers. Well, you've earned a bit of rest. Return to Arcanu and we'll deliver the feathers to you after the priestess has blessed them. That part, at least, was no ruse. If you don't mind, I'd like to go to Kozama'Uka. I feel I should offer one more prayer to Kishai. Very well. Desiree, why don't you wait at Okanu? I'll bring the feathers and I'd like to speak with you once more before you go. I wonder how long I would have lasted if you weren't here. Now that our rite of passage is behind us, allow me to offer my thanks for all your help. I would also offer my apologies for making you party to our little reception. I would have told you everything, but I don't think the ending would have been quite so effective if I did. I agree, and I'm grateful things went the way they did. The lessons I learned here will guide me as I become acquainted with all of Turali's peoples. Speaking of which, the next leg of my journey awaits. Maybe meet again. And that was that questline. Good, and I say until next time when we play more Final Fantasy XIV, amaze and don't get lost.